Hey guys, welcome. Here we're taking a look at a point from the recent APP Chicago Open. Now, to the naked eye, this might just look like we're dinking back and forth, but under the surface, there's a lot more going on. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to a concept I like to call hunting. Understanding this concept will allow you to play chess at the kitchen line while all your opponents are stuck playing checkers. I think the best way to approach explaining this topic is going to be, let's start at the end and work our way backwards. Let's establish our end goal first. When we're up at the kitchen line, we want to try to get the ball out of the air as much as possible. What this does is creates more pressure on our opponents, and it also gives us more offensive opportunities. The problem is taking the ball out of the air isn't easy. How do you know when you should take it out of the air or when to let it bounce? How do you make that decision? When you do take it out of the air, how do you decide, am I going to hit it soft or speed it up? These are decisions that all have to be made within split seconds every time the ball is coming at you. An approach that really helps me with this is changing the way we think about it. A decision means that I have to choose this or that. I have to choose out of the air or bounce. And when you're forced to choose, sometimes you can panic, sometimes you can feel rushed. So instead of thinking of this as a decision that has to be made, we're going to change our mindset a little bit and start thinking of this as a progression. In a progression, we have predetermined options. So we start with option A. I'm always looking for option A first. If that's not there, we move on to option B. If that's not there, we move on to option C. When we're at the kitchen line, here's kind of my standard progression. Option A, look for the ball out of the air and look to attack it. If that's not there, option B is still try to get the ball out of the air, but hit a dink or a little more aggressive dink, taking time away still. If that's not there, then usually I'm going to pull the paddle back in and look to step back and take the ball off the bounce, off the peak of the bounce. And my last option, option D, would be take a half volley. A half volley is going to be the most defensive of all my shots, so I only want to play that when I'm absolutely forced into it. Okay, so now that we got the framework set, let's take a look at this point and break down, and I'll show you all this stuff in action. Okay, so Stefan and I are serving here. Ball comes to me on the third shot drop. I end up hitting a pretty good third shot here, and I know that Andre can attack because you can see he's forced to take it off of a half volley, which we already talked about is a defensive play for him. So as soon as I see that, I'm able to quickly get forward and we're able to take the net behind that one good drop. Now Andre and I get locked in a cross-court battle trying to each kind of gain an advantage in the point. So now we'll get a chance to focus on some of those progressions I was talking about. Here I'm going to hit a pretty good dink cross-court, and there's a couple things I want you to note here. I've got Andre backed up a little bit. I've got him off the court, and I'm in the position that I want to be in. I'm shifted over to shade over to the ball. I'm pushed right up to the line, and you can see my partner Stefan is as well, and we're both balanced and in good position. So with all those things kind of checked off my list, that means I want to go hunting. And by hunting, I mean I'm actively reaching out into the kitchen and looking to take the ball out of the air. I'm going through that progression of mentally thinking, I want the ball out of the air, I want to attack it. Now you can see as this continues to play through that about halfway through the flight of the ball, I see that it's not there. I'd be overreaching to get it. So I pull the paddle back in, I take a step back to buy some time, and I go through my progression and go to that plan B, plan C. Okay, so now let's shift our attention to Andre. We're going to watch him run a similar pattern here. He's going to get the ball out of the air. He's going to see that He takes my time away, gets me to move off my spot a little bit. So now with this position and his kind of slight advantage in the point, he's going to be hunting now. He's going to be thinking, I want the ball out of the air. I want to attack. So you can see he was able to get the ball out of the air. He kind of got what he wanted, but he decided it's a little too low. So rather than attack, he's just going to play another dink back. So this process continues to go back and forth like this. We try to set up a point with good dinking and consistent pressure and good positioning. Once we feel like we have that on our side, then we hunt for an attackable ball. If it's there, we take it. If it's not, we continue through the progression. We're back at it now. I hit another pretty good cross-court dink, and I get myself in almost the exact situation I was in earlier. I get Andre to take a step off the line. He's off the court. I'm holding my position, and I'm even going to overlay the earlier one to show you how similar this setup is from the earlier situation we talked about. Now, if you remember before, I was hunting for that ball, but it just wasn't quite there, so I kind of pulled back and decided to get back into the dink rally. This time I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to hunt for it. This time I decide I like it. I pull the trigger. We get a little firefight, and we're able to finish off the point. Mostly due to just having a little bit better position right up to that kitchen line when we're in this firefight. Let's go back one more time to our other clip because I want to give you a little bonus tip here about when we hunt. So in my opinion, we've got basically two main ready positions. We've got our hunting position, which is I feel like I'm in a positive position. I don't feel like my opponents can attack. So I'm going to be right up to the line, paddle out, looking to take the ball out of the air. The other one is the counterattack position. This is when I hit a ball that I feel like my opponents could attack. So I'm not going to be as active looking to take the ball out of the air. I'm going to be a little bit more compact with my ready position. I maybe even will back up a step and buy some more time. So let's take a look at an example of that right here. I hit a pretty good dink here. Andre's off the court. He's hitting a low ball. I have no reason to believe that he could hit a competent attack from here. So I can be a little more aggressive with my mindset. I can be leaning in, reaching out, kind of wanting that ball out of the air. Andre ends up dinking back cross court to me. I kind of misjudge the dink a little bit and end up popping it up because I'm reaching. But you can see the massive difference in my recovery position. I didn't come back up to the line, and I'm also not leaning forward and reaching into the kitchen. Instead, I'm a step off the line. I'm a little more balanced. I'm a little more compact. And this allows me to be ready for Andre's attack and create my counterattack. That's all I got for you. I hope you liked the video. Happy hunting as you get out on the courts and try this out for yourself. Don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions or let me know what video you want to see next. See you next time.